Oh, hi, Omina-san. Welcome back to our playthrough of the Great Ace Attorney adventure. We are going to complete the third part of the trial for the Adventure of the Great Departure. And hopefully have no problems at all with the gameplay. But let us begin. November, 1:14 p.m. Supreme Court of the Judiciary, Courtroom 2. And hopefully the audio is also fixed. I realize I was a little soft before, and I think that's just because of how I had the microphone set up. Well, I understand you are a judicial assistant to the defense, but why this sudden ingress in my courtroom?
Ha! A judicial assistant, and a woman no less. The rules state that females are not permitted in this court of law other than to testify.
Yes, I fully understand. I only ask for 5 minutes of time. I have some vital evidence that I must hand over to the defense.
You're too late, little girl. This trial has already been concluded.
5 minutes! I will not allow a moment more!
But, Your Excellency!
I am most grateful. Who exactly are you? I'm sorry, there's no time. Please, simply accept this for now. What is it? A report about something? Written in English? It's Jezebel Brett's research. I'm saying her name wrong every single time, aren't I? The English woman's? After the trial resumed earlier, I hurried back to the university. I went to Dr. Wilson's laboratory in the medical facility and borrowed this paper. Oh yes, that's right. Miss Brett was studying under the professor, wasn't she? So, does this research, whatever it is, have something to do with the case? I'm afraid I don't know. I haven't been able to listen to the proceedings of the trial myself. Oh, no, of course not. Special characteristics of Curare and its effects on human subjects. Interesting. Curare? What's that? I've never heard that word before. I'm saying that word wrong, most likely.
Time's up! The prosecution demands an immediate removal of this female trespasser from the courtroom.
There was too little time for me to read it in detail, but I've summarized what I could on a note just inside the cover. If you think it could be valuable, please cast your eye over it. I will definitely be casting my eye over it. I mean, I'm kind of on, like, thin ice right now. Like, super thin ice. This is wonderful, thank you. Giselle's report has been entered to the court record. I'm saying it wrong no matter how I do it, and I keep wanting to say it right, so I keep trying to change how I say it. Goodbye then, and good luck. Alrighty, well, what? You have had a long enough counsel. We cannot detain our English guest any longer. Honey, I'm about to wreck you. I ask the prosecution and the defense now one last time. Does either side have any further evidence to present this court? I presume not, but I was just given evidence, Judge. Do you not understand that I'm going to 100% use that evidence? Beep, 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 beep. Beep. Ooh. A poison made from the bark of certain trees. A a poison made from the bark of certain trees in the jungles of South America. The hunters of the region have used it since ancient times to incapacitate their prey. Effects: instant paralysis of the entire body and subsequent death, even in minute doses. It looks like minute to me, but it's minute, I'm positive. The above-mentioned effect occurs when the poison enters the body through a wound, such as that infected by a blowpipe dart. Oh, his tooth extraction. Lady, did you put this in his drink so that when he drank the drink, it would go through his tooth extraction? Because that's a wound. Oh. Due to the ability to render the human body paralytic, it is believed that the toxin could have applications as an anesthesia. However, a solution for the respiratory arrest caused as a result of full body paralysis must be found first, or patients would die of suffocation. Did he die of suffocation? Oh, that's a horrible way to go if you're paralyzed and then you suffocate. You can't do anything about it. Oh, that'd be a horrible way to go. I'm gonna present this.
Prosecute! The prosecution has made its case convincingly enough already. Nothing more to add, Your Excellency.
Ryunosuke, we're out of options here. This really is our very last chance. Yes, I know. Your Excellency, the defense does have new evidence. I was just given it and I'll put it in the courtroom. Da 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 da. That look. The unyielding stare of a true Japanese warrior. Well, Miss Brett. Yes, Your Excellency. I feel like I changed her voice too. If you wouldn't mind, perhaps you could grace us with your presence a little longer. It is a delightful invitation, but I'm afraid you're going to have to. It's not so very long until tea time. I must politely decline. Forgive me, Miss Brett, but it seems I wasn't clear. I realize I phrased it as a question, however, I must ask you to treat that as an order. You're staying, honey. I've said it many times before, but the Japanese language makes no sense. My apologies, dear lady. So, counsel, what is this new evidence that demands the court's attention? Well, that it would be this.
Yes!
Miss Giselle Brett. We understand that you were studying under Dr. Wilson at the Yume University doing research. Research, by sheer coincidence perhaps, into a deadly poison.
What?
Poison? Where are you going with this, counsel? A toxin known as curare, Your Excellency. Even the slightest amount of this deadly poison entering the body leads to instant death.
Objection!
What complete and utter nonsense! Courier, you say? I've never even heard of it!
You wouldn't have done.
What do you mean?
I mean that you wouldn't have heard of curare before for one simple reason. It doesn't exist in our country. It doesn't exist? Correct. Which means, no matter what tests the police can do for toxins, they'd never identify curare. Why? Because there is no test available here that can identify the presence of this highly deadly poison.
What?
Order! Council, does this deadly poison truly exist? According to this report authored by the visiting research student from England, Kurare has long been used by the tribespeople of South America as a poison to lace their arrows. It seems that it's reasonably well known amongst European doctors and scientists.
To lace their arrows?
The report states that it's produced from an extract of a tree that grows deep in the Amazonian jungle. And it was first brought back to Europe at the turn of the century by explorers. It claims that animals shot by the arrow laced with curare suffer instant death. Doesn't that just about sum it up, Miss Brett? Da 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 da.
Objection!
Trumpery! These aspirations are utter trumpery! To start with, if the victim had been administered some of this so-called deadly poison, he would have been squirming and writhing in pain, and the other diners would have surely noticed.
My dear man, maybe, just maybe, you want to read a report on the poison before you make accusations of what a poison can and can't do, my dear man. That's true. What do you say to that, Inspector? You people just keep coming up with excuses for why I can't be right, but I am right. I don't remember anything like that either. Ryunosuke, we read the report. Shut up. I didn't notice the professor being in any kind of pain either. According to this, however, it's the other way around.
What do you mean the other way around?
The very fact that the victim didn't show any visible signs of distress is evidence that the curare was used. Explain yourself, Counsel! The moment this toxin enters a person's system, it causes instant paralysis. In other words, affected victims lose all strength and are completely unable to move. Even if they were in total agony, there would be no visible signs of pain at all. How terrible! Obviously, if a man lost all his strength in his muscles, he'd collapse on the floor. But with a chair under him for support, as Dr. Wilson did, the effects could go largely unnoticed. But I don't follow, Kazuma. It's just paralysis. I thought the poison caused instant death. The full explanation is extremely unpleasant. The poison causes immediate paralysis, as I said, leaving the victim unable to move. But after a short time, the paralysis is so severe it causes the muscles that control respiration to fail. Respiration! In other words, the actual cause of death is suffocation. And all the while, the victim is conscious and aware, just unable to move.
That's hideous!
To the observer, it would look almost like the victim was slipping peacefully into an endless sleep. But for the victim himself, his final moments would be a living hell. That is the true nature of this deadly curare poison. Da 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 da. And you're suggesting that this bottle No, I am not suggesting it's in the bottle at all. I'm suggesting it's in the glass she took away from the crime scene. Actually contains this terrifying poison?
Objection!
This is all very convenient, isn't it?
Of course it is. I conveniently got a report from the person on the stand, accused of murder.
A hitherto unknown poison for which there is no means of testing? What a happy tale for the defense!
If I may.
All these...
My dear man, you are going to be...
Shut up!
I'm like, she's going to shut. It is you who must be taught.
Of course! Dear lady!
Da 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 da. So, this is how you Japanese behave, is it? What? You steal another's honest hard work and then announce the results as if you discovered them? I'm sorry, we're not doing that. We're literally saying what you know about a poison that you had access to, that you were researching, and that definitely could have been used in this situation. Honey, shut the hell up. I'm appalled. What a loathsome act. Well, Miss Brett, the feeling is mutual. Whatever do you mean? Capitalizing on the unfortunate circumstances of an innocent man to frame him for a heinous crime? That really is a lonesome act. Wouldn't you agree?
Objection!
Shut up!
Enough of this! I, for one, refuse to accept it! The idea of some poison that doesn't even exist in the Empire of Japan is breaking the rules!
What's so funny? Oh, excuse me, Your Excellency? Yes, Miss Brett! May I borrow that bottle for a moment, please? Oh, shut the hell up, lady. It's in the glass. Yes, I don't see, why not? I see why not! You're gonna let her tamper with evidence and she's not even trained or qualified to touch it at all? God, my dear man, you fail as a judge. Oh, she's gonna drink it to prove her point. Sorry? To an English woman such as myself, this whole affair is a farcical comedy. Your little police games and these foolish courtroom antics. It's laughable, really. You are a really good actress, lady. We're towing the line of the fact that we figured out what the hell you've done and you're still playing innocent. But I'm getting bored of it all now. It's time for the games to end. Cheers. Oh, you goddamn... I hate her. How much do I... Wait, what are you? She's proving that there's no poison in the bottle, Ryunosuke? God damn it! But it was in the glass, not in the bottle. That makes a reason why she would have taken the glass away from the crime scene, not just to prove she wasn't there, but also, hey, this is the glass that actually has like the remnants of a poison in it. Oh, you evil lady. No sparkle left at all. How appropriate for this shabby affair. You. I hate her! I will get to the bottom of this. Goodness. Whatever is the matter? You all look quite stunned. So, no courier. I know where it is, okay? I can get it, Kazuma. The bottle is clean. Is that what you're saying? You look quite incredulous, little boy. But of course, that's the simple truth. Thank you for presenting the findings of my research so concisely here in this grand venue. Most kind. I am going to destroy you, you goddamn snake. Thank you, waiter. Now then, Your Excellency. No, let me choose my options. Let me choose how to destroy this. Yes, Miss Brett. I should like to be excused now, please. I think I've given more than enough of my time for the furtherance of the friendship between our countries. Yes, dear lady. We are most gratified with all the assistance you have given. Come on, Ryunosuke, you can figure it out! Make connections. This doesn't make sense. I know, Kazuma. I know what's wrong. Let me do my job. There had to have been poison in that bottle. So how? How did she? How did she swallow a whole glass and live to tell the tale? I know what's going on. Let me solve the case, Kazuma. I don't understand it. Well, I suppose if nothing else, this little Far Eastern charade will make for an interesting conversation at the next party I attend in London. There has to have been poison in that bottle. Doesn't there? No, there was poison in the glass. Come on, Ryunosuke, connect the dots! But there can't have been, because otherwise she would have keeled over dead. Breathe in and think the situation through. It's time to turn it around, Ryunosuke! Come on, Ryunosuke, we have all the clues now. That bottle of water... Or wait. No, the... Wound! It had to enter through a wound! Okay. Never mind, I understand where I'm going. The culprit did put Kurura poison into Dr. Wilson's carbonated water. The defense refuses to change its position? I will point to how this is proof? Because she doesn't have a wound. It would mix with her stomach acid. Like, it wouldn't actually enter the rest of her body, and her stomach would destroy it. Because it has to be like a wound to enter the bloodstream to actually, like, paralyze somebody. I still think that that's incredibly convenient for a poison to only act in a way that it enters a wound, but hey, I'm not the poison expert here. I thought it was just she put it in the glass, but I could totally be wrong. It's either one of those. I'm thinking it's more likely that it's what I just figured out, that it's in the wound. And I just wasn't paying attention to anything, and I was thinking of another way around. You're serious? Read the effects of the poison again.
Objection!
Fool! Are you blind? There was no possible way that bottle could contain poison. I mean, we just saw
Miss Brett drinking the water from it? That's right, which rather complicates your argument, I think. And I believe that complication can be explained.
how exactly?
Like, lady, I read English. I know what you did. I need to think through all the things that don't quite add up here, one by one. I'm sure the answer is in the evidence we have in the court record somewhere. It has to be. Very well, if the defense truly intends to assert this claim. Well, yes. Then I must ask you to support the assertion with evidence. What other evidence do you think I was going to prove to you? What explains how the witness was able to consume this supposedly poisoned water unscathed?
Yes!
The answer to this riddle is right here in Miss Brett's own research report.
Objection!
Oh, shut the hell up! That's not a valid explanation!
No?
After all, we don't speak English. That report is utter gibberish. This impudent young scoundrel is trying to ridicule the court, Your Excellency.
I'm not trying to ridicule anyone, honest. I'm just reading Susato-san's notes. I concur. This report is too extensive to be considered in its entirety by the court. You will direct us to the permanent I thought I turned the volume off. I'm sorry. Will direct us to the pertinent section, Counsel. Which section of the report reveals the alleged answer to this riddle? Well, the characteristics. We've been hearing a lot about this cure rare poison. And it's left me curious about something. God, Ryunosuke, what the hell? Oh, Counsel? Well, it sounds as though indigenous hunters have been using this poison for years and years. to lace the heads of arrows so that they shoot at whatever prey they're hunting. So we've been led to believe, yes? And the point of hunting is to catch prey to eat.
Get to the point! Get to the point, please!
But if they were to use these laced arrows, doesn't that mean there would be traces of poison left in the prey the hunters were going to eat? Yes, good point! So surely the hunters wouldn't want to eat their prey, would they? Because then they'd be eating poison. Good gracious, Council, no, that would be madness! But I actually found the answer to that conundrum. Research paper here. In this research paper here. Under special characteristics, it says this. The poison starts to work after entering the body through a wound. Through a wound, you say? I see, that makes sense. Yes, the mention of that particular detail seemed a little strange to me, though. Oh, you're gonna ruin your own freaking genius master plan here, Miss Brett, with your own research. But it makes all the sense when you interpret it what's written like this. When Kurer enters the body through an open wound, it has a terrifying poisonous effect. However, when it enters the body via the mouth, it has no poisonous effects whatsoever.
What?
Miss Brett, you authored this research. You knew Kurer's special characteristics. And you knew that you could make a spectacle of drinking that water without any danger to yourself. Die, you middling little rapscallion! Well, Ryunosuke, it turns out you're an even better lawyer than I thought you'd be. Thank you, my dear man. Really? Me? A lawyer?
Objection!
Oh, shut up! Oh, all this poison talk is fascinating, I'm sure. But I feel out.
Shut up!
Lady, you So, the ill-bred little puppy has a new toy to play with. Some facts he read in a book. But I'm afraid knowledge doesn't suit you, little boy. It only makes you look silly. What are you trying to say? Your schoolboyish logic has a fatal... It has no flaws! Shut the hell up, lady! Schoolboyish... flaw? As even your brains have managed to deduce, Kurer is safe to ingest. It seems likely that its effects are neutralized by the acidic nature of the gastric succus. Sorry. Oh, yes, well, of course. Gastric suckers? What are they? Your stomach. So, if this lethal poison is completely harmless when drunk, the professor wouldn't have died when he swallowed it, would he? Shut up! I already answered this question! Ryunosuke, stop! Give me my moment!
That's right!
Good gracious! Shut up! I already have the answers! Stop letting her run this show! That's basic science. Science that even a schoolboy should be able to understand, no? Shut up, lady! I will destroy you! Order! Order in the court! Order! The logic holds. If the lady and the professor drank the same poison, they would be affected. No, they wouldn't. I will frickin' present my evidence. Let me have a moment. Or are you trying to suggest?
Yes, this Kurer poison is completely irrelevant to the case on trial.
That's right. No, it's not. Shut up, lady. I already know you're guilty. Don't add to the pile. Surely even a little cockroach like you can understand something as simple as that. Da 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 da. What is this welling up inside me? I've never felt like this before. It's a sort of conviction to break down all discrepancies. It's so intense, almost rage-like. And more than anything else, it's animalistic desire to take down my prey. Lady, you're going down! Objection!
Objection!
Yes! Oh, he needs a little more oomph in his objection. I don't think so, Miss Jezebel Brett. How dare you use that tone with me? You know very well that there's no fatal flaw here. You know exactly why, even though both you and the victim swallowed the same poison. You are alive, but Dr. Wilson is dead. Counsel, I'm sure I don't need to remind you. You must provide compelling evidence. I can provide your evidence, so shut up. As we now know, this poison is completely harmless. Shut up! Why would Dr. Wilson alone have been killed by the Curer?
Take that!
As Miss Brett so readily pointed out, she drank the same water as the professor. However, there was a fundamental and fatal difference between the two diners. A fatal difference? She knows. The toxic effects of Curer are only felt when the poison enters the body through an open wound. So, for a healthy person with no injuries, drinking it is completely harmless. But what if there was a wound inside the mouth of the person drinking the poisoned water?
Inside?
Yes, like the wound you might have if you had just been to the dentist and had a tooth extracted, for example. Ah! Miss Brett, you've acknowledged many times in your testimony already that you were well aware of Dr. Wilson's dental appointment that day. Ugh. So that's it. You used the knowledge to orchestrate this. Da 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 da. Is she gonna give up? Is she gonna concede? She's not gonna concede, is she? Laughing? I don't like to repeat myself, but honestly, I can't resist. These childish courtroom games and your half-baked arguments are so puerile. What do you mean? Don't worry, little schoolboy. You'll find out soon enough. Why? You see, when you leave vital evidence lying around, you never know what might happen to it. No. I mean, it could just slip. You goddamn evil wench! Oh dear, how careless of me. I'm positive that should prove her guilt right here and now. Like, we understand she's the killer. I'm afraid some critical evidence may have just been tragically destroyed. No! What the hell? What is this? What just happened? It's the English woman. She just smashed that bottle. And in the Supreme Court, what? Officer, what are you waiting for? Collect up as much of the water from that broken bottle as... Can't collect the water from the broken bottle. I mean, I guess we could always go and ask Great Britain to produce an autopsy because they really should by now. As a British man, you're wasting your time. This delightful carpet under my feet here was a gift from the British Empire. I assure you, it will soak up the water beautifully. You have neither the technology nor the presence of mind to recover it. Ha ha ha! How could you? You won't get away with this! You literally just destroyed evidence, which should totally totally mean that you're getting thrown away. You can thump the bench and shout as much as you like, little boy. But I'm afraid we'll never know now, will we? If there really was poison in the bottle or not. You. And let us not forget, we still have some very compelling evidence left intact. Isn't that right, counsel for the prosecution?
Oh, of course, of course! You're referring to this photographic print, I presume, dear lady?
I'm gonna examine this print. Ugh. Yeah, there's nothing on this print that can tell me that he's bleeding or something besides the gunshot wound. I'm trying to figure it out. Alright. I'll figure it out. That's right. And really looking at this photograph, it's clear as day, isn't it? The poor professor was sitting with his back to me. So of course the only person who could have shot him from the front is the little schoolboy.
Objection!
No! You killed the victim that day using Curer. And then, in order to frame Ryunosuke Naruhodo for the crime, you waited until he picked up the pistol you had arranged for him to find on the floor, before you shot the professor's dead body in the chest with your own hidden gun. Then, in the confusion that followed, all you had to do was turn the dead professor in his chair around. You see, you had every opportunity to commit this crime. What a wonderful imagination you have, young man. A hidden gun, you say, and I shot the professor's dead body, did I? Well, I'm terribly sorry, but you don't have a shred of evidence. Well, excuse you, I could totally find some evidence. Like, just give me a second.
Exactly! And as you have nothing to support your wild claims, the prosecution's stance remains unchanged. The victim, Dr. John H. Wilson, was killed by a gunshot to the chest. Delivered in a cold blood by the accused Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
Oh, shut up! I'm not guilty in this case. Ugh. This is unbelievable. How can this be happening? We had her, but now, is she really gonna get away with it? The way she destroyed that evidence was obscene and should totally tell people that she's guilty. Like, seriously, they have to figure out that she's guilty. You don't just destroy evidence if you're not guilty. Ryunosuke. Yes? We've come this far, but now you're the only one who can finish it. What? What do you mean? We've lost a vital piece of evidence, it's true. So if there are any clues left for us to use now, they must be in your head. Well, thanks so much for the confidence, Kazuma. In my head, you told me before that your powers of observation were the one thing you could really depend on. Well, yes, that's true, but I didn't manage to notice that this woman was a foreigner with a swan on her head. Which, oh my god, my boy. So, think back again. Now try to remember every last detail about the scene that day. Everything you saw, everything you felt. Every color, every smell. What I saw, what I felt. Every color. Oh my god! Is Kazuma right? Somewhere in the vibrant memory of this same scene in my head? Could there be another clue to expose the identity of Dr. Wilson's killer? Well, obviously I'm gonna say there's a clue because, not much else I can do here if there's not a clue. There's a clue! I gotta believe it! Actually, Kazuma, I think there might have been something. Thinking back over everything I saw, I think I might have uncovered another clue. Haha! You always have something up your sleeve, don't you, Ryunosuke? I am a right. Well, I'm the ancestor of a right. Come on then, let's wipe this smug smile off that English woman's face with some evidence. Alright, I can't wait. It's been nigging at me for a while that something feels amiss in my memories of that day. Whatever it could be the key to arriving at the truth about all this. It's here somewhere, the clue that shows who Dr. Wilson's real killer must have been. Obviously, it's the blood.
Take that!
Oh my god, he said it. That was a perfect take that. Like your objection needed a little bit more oomph. Perfect take that. Gotta hand it to the voice actor, that was great. Inspector Hosonaga, answer me this. Come on. Yes? What is it? Ugh, he's still miles away. Probably thinking about that bottle being smashed. As you've said a number of times now, you strive for perfection in your investigations, don't you? Absolutely. I wonder, therefore, if perhaps you took anything else from the scene of the crime. Like, for instance, the plate of steak you took at the victim's table that day?
Objection!
Shut up!
Wait a minute, where are you?
Shut up!
Where are you going with this, little boy? I think you'll see. It's just a memory that's been troubling me. What memory? I saw the scene shown in this photograph print with my own eyes that day. And I saw on the wooden base of that plate the steak was served on was a splattering of blood.
What?
I had... Oh, really? And what of it? Obviously, it must have happened when you shot the... You're saying I shot him from the front with his chair turned around. Couldn't have done that, sweetheart! Try again! No, that can't be the case. Take a good look at the photograph and under the relative position of everything there. The plate of steak is almost directly behind the victim. If I'm supposed to have shot Dr. Wilson in the chest from the front, there's no way that blood from the victim could have ended up directly behind him. Ah! Yes. For blood to have been made it on the plate implies the plate was between the victim and the shooter. Which means the shooter must have been sitting opposite the professor as you were. Jezebel Brett, I beg your pardon.
Objection!
Shut up! This is beyond ridiculous! Fabricated nonsense! Is the court seriously expected to believe something the accused has apparently just remembered seeing?
Hold it!
Oh, he's bleeding. This... This could be the moment that my entire career of the police force has been leading to. My dear man! Do you have my evidence or do you not? Inspector, you mean... Yes, I took the plate in interest of preserving evidence of the scene of the crime. I took it, meat and all, and I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief because of it. You did what? I took the steak that you'd been eating, Miss Brett. I took the steak that the sergeant had been eating. I did it all in the name of justice. Then we can find out for sure whether or not there's a bloodstain on Miss Brett's plate. We must examine it now! Turn it over, my dear man! We'll turn over both plates. I have a feeling there might be something wrong here. Inspector! The court wishes to examine the plate from the victim's table immediately. Yes, sir. Sorry for the delay. Here's what you ordered. The steak. Well, what about the blood? There's blood on it!
Of course there isn't.
Oh, shut the hell up. This obviously isn't the right plate, is it? We're going to be delayed. Of course. Examine the plate at your leisure. Yeah, that's not the steak from the photo. No blood. You're giving me the wrong plate. No blood anywhere. But... no blood anywhere. You're giving me the wrong plate! I know I saw it. I'm sure of it. It was right there on the table behind the professor. There was blood on the side of the plate. Giving me the wrong plate. They somehow switched plates. Shut up, Brett! You're getting lucky. What an unbecoming expression, little boy. You see, this is why I've always said you can't trust what the Japanese tell you.
Ugh! I couldn't agree more. In the case of this disgrace to the Empire.
Let me have my moment to examine the plate, please. God, shut the hell up. I'm betting he gave me the wrong plate. Let's hope so. This let's pretend attempt at the courtroom proceedings is painful to watch. But I do promise to do my best to forget about it when it's over. Ryunosuke, take a breath. We're good. Let me do things.
Ha! This sorry-looking steak reveals the facts.
It's missing. That's not the plate that was behind him. So shut the hell up, my dear boy.
If the sorry-looking accused wishes to examine it again, be my guest.
All right. Was the plate I saw, or thought I saw, just a figment of my imagination? It's not. Let's examine it, babe. Let's examine it. Yes, you gave me the wrong one, huh? What in the world is this? I think it's a Koban coin. The hallmark is from the Hoei era, I believe. No, I don't mean what is it? I mean, what's it doing there? Wait, did you say it was a Hoei Koban? Yes, and apart from the meat juices, it looks to be in good condition. I imagine it's very valuable. This isn't the first time today that there's been talk of a Hoei Koban. I've heard of pearls before swine, but I've never heard of a bullion before. Bullion? And I don't think you ever will again. This is extraordinary, though. This means you gave me the wrong freaking plate, you stupid! Wasanaga, what the hell? You gave me the wrong plate of steak! This is now... I've lost. Ryunosuke, it's not over yet. Not until the final gavel. Huh? Never stop believing in yourself. Keep looking forward. No matter what. Got it, my dear boy? Believe in myself, really. Maybe I should at least I already did! Shut up. As the evidence requested by the defense has not— I will show you how it's problematic! Give me a second, dear judge. I presume any further examination of the evidence in this case will be unnecessary. You assume wrong. Does the defense have any objection? That bloodstain was going to clench the trial for me. Can this plate of steak reveal any other clues at all? Obviously, there's another clue. Your Excellency, please wait. This plate of steak is hiding another clue. That somebody gave me the wrong plate! Another clue that will reveal the shocking truth. That this is not the right plate. Shut the hell up.
The only thing that's shocking here is your unhealthy fascination with beef steak.
Your Excellency, I think I've made myself clear, haven't I? I will not be able to turn a blind eye to any more unnecessary procrastination in this trial. I'm sorry, Miss Brett, but we must ensure a thorough examination of evidence. I will not give a ruling until I'm completely satisfied that all reasonable doubt has been dispelled. I see. As a newly affirmed ally of my country, that's still your position, is it? Thank you, Your Excellency. Counsel for the defense, you will now clearly show to the court what you are alluding. Where precisely on this plate of beefsteak is a new clue to be found? Oh, we're going through this again. Koban coin. I didn't realize it was going to actually have me go through all this again. I thought if I already knew it, it would just let me say it. Which it should. The minute you discover something about the evidence, it should be updated automatically and I should just be able to tell them, hey, there's a Koban under that steak. But nitpicks. That's just a nitpick. I've heard of pearls before swines, but I've never heard of a bullion in... I certainly never expected to find a precious coin underneath this thick cut of meat. And it's from the Hoei era, too. That would make it really quite valuable. It's well marinated in juices as well. Look. What, are you thinking of eating it? No. For the next time I order a steak in an expensive restaurant, one thing's for sure. My heart's gonna be racing as I lift up the meat to beer underneath for a prize. I think you might have the wrong end of the stick on this, Ryunosuke. A Koban coin underneath this steak. There's only one logical explanation. This ain't the right plate. Oh, I didn't present it.
Got it!
Good gracious! That's...
Koban?
What on earth? A Hoei era one at that. Miss Brett, this is in fact the beefsteak that you ordered at the restaurant that day in question, is it? Tell me, why is there an old coin seemingly hidden underneath the meat?
Shut up!
What a ridiculous question! How should I know? I've never seen that thing before in my life. I don't know what this is, but I want no part of it.
Objection!
Shut the hell up! I fail to see how this is relevant, a coin under the meat. That could simply have been...
Shut up.
Objection!
What the hell kind of idiot are you? Don't be absurd. We're supposed to believe that happened by accident in the kitchen? A rare Hoei Koban just... Oh, now it's juddering again. If this turns out to be irrelevant to the case, I'll rip up my ticket to Great Britain right now. He's right, it can't be a coincidence. Your Excellency. Yes, Counsel? A rare Hoei Koban just happens to be hidden underneath that piece of steak? If this turns out to be irrelevant to the case, I'll give up my lawyer job right now. Shut the hell up.
Objection!
You also shut.
By all means, don't let us stop you. No one invited you anyway.
Shut up!
Perhaps, little boy, you should realize that it is you who's irrelevant. Even though I'm the one on trial here. The point is, it's essential that we ask the owner of this coin if he can explain what it's doing under that stake. The owner? Yes, it's obvious. There's only one person it can belong to. The owner of the Koban that was found underneath the beef steak.
Take that!
Obviously, it can only be the antiques dealer and the owner of Ratsute. Rito Kurikuta-san. Kure, as in Mr. Cucumber something? Honestly, these ridiculous Japanese names are quite unfathomable. Yes. I mean, all names are quite unfathomable. The old man who testified earlier alongside the military sergeant, correct? Yes, Your Excellency. I remember him saying that he was up to something with his Koban coin when it happened, and exactly the moment the gun was fired.
The gunshot interested me not. I was far too busy on the floor.
Too busy on the floor? Sorry, what were you doing?
Hunting for treasure. Indeed, the Hoei Koban, my prize coin.
Then this Hoei Koban? Do you mean to tell me?
Objection!
No. Please, why would Kurikuta-san's Koban be sandwiched between the victim's beefsteak and its plate? It makes no sense.
Yes!
Which is why I'm asking to bring Kurikuta-san back to the witness stand so we can ask him. Officer! Bring both witnesses that testified earlier back in here. Without a moment's delay. I can't believe we come back around to that pair again. But I have a hunch, a strong hunch, that this is the wrong plate of steak. That if we chase down the real significance of this Koban, we'll find that it's a key element in the case. I'll find that we will be, hopefully, almost done. Look at my extended witness stand. What is this all about? Why have I been called up again? Don't you realize it's dinner time for little baby Ido? When my son's belly is empty, he's fiercer than a pack of wolves.
Exploited by the police, we were like miserable dogs, forced to bear false witness. And when cast from this courtroom myself, I become a ruined man in trice, a worthless, withered antique. Nothing more have I to say. The sun is set on the rude Ratsute's shop owner's existence.
You're not gonna commit seppuku. Be that as it may, Kurikuta-san, something has come to light that requires your clarification. As far as your Ratsute memory serves, have you ever seen—
Wah! That's it! That one! The very one! The very exact one, that is it! The resplendent, splendiferous holy treasure that my rusty bones managed to misplace that fateful day! It can't be.
As I thought.
Young man, enlighten this decrepit old fool. Put me out of my misery. Where was my treasure? Where was it dropped?
Oh, I'm not sure if it was dropped anywhere. We found your coin sandwiched between a beef steak and its plate, soaking in the seasoned meat's juices.
Sandwiched? Soaking? Seriously?
Clearly, it couldn't have fallen there by accident, which means somebody must have hidden it there on purpose.
Somebody concealed my holy treasure between a slab of meat and a metal plate. Who would do such a thing? Such an inconceivable thing.
Well, I already know the answer to this. Everybody's in just shock of not knowing who. Excuse me. Could I say something? Yes, of course. Floor's yours, buddy. Proceed, Inspector Hosonaga. I mentioned this earlier on the trial, but I was working undercover at this restaurant in order to investigate another case.
Ah, yes, that's right. The secret undercover operation.
La Carnival is a high-class Western cuisine restaurant. It attracts wealthy diners, including many foreigners. Recently, there's been a run of similarly executed thefts, targeting the restaurant's rich clientele. A number of such incidents have been reported to the police bureau. Wicked crimes indeed! We wanted to nip the case in the bud quickly, especially with so many foreigners being affected. So that's why you were sent in undercover, is it? Yes. I took on the job of a waiter at the restaurant in order to flush out the criminal. It seems likely that this Koban incident is the work of the same thief. So unbeknownst to us, there was a master thief at work in the restaurant on a regular basis. The place was already the scene of several crimes, it seems. I don't know about the master thief part, but the identity of the person who stole and hid Korakuta-san's Koban is all too clear.
What? What?
I think the court would like to hear the defense view on this matter. Tell us, who is the despicable scoundrel that stole Korakuta-san's Koban and hid it under the steak? Well,
Take that!
obviously, it can only be you. Sergeant Yasunosa. What? How? How dare you, you monster! Monster? I stole that Koban, did I? I'm the master thief of La Carnival, am I? You're seriously accusing me of these circumstances, cadet? But it wasn't me, it was Ido! Ido is the mastermind behind all this! What? Are you blaming your baby? You would push the blame for your crimes on your own son, an innocent little baby? It's you who's the monster, Sergeant Nosa! Da 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 da. Ugh. Clippity clap, clippity clap, clippity 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 clap. Ah! Nippon Imperial Army, Sergeant Yasunosa, preparing to stand down on the Supreme Court, sir! In the Supreme Court, bleh, not on. Like I need to hide you. Do any of you know of the extraordinarily low wages the Nippon Imperial Army pays those it expects to keep our country safe? I understand that the temporary increase in taxation, owing to the recently ended conflicts, remain in place. And I have heard it's hard for lower-ranking soldiers to make a living, yes? All I want is to put a hot meal on the table for my son!
That's why you were stealing things at the restaurant?
The place is heaving with money. Every 3 days I go there, I do reconnaissance for a target. And I enjoy chomping my way through a good steak at the same time.
It sounds like he doesn't bother with a knife and fork even, which is frankly believable.
And your target that day was the old man and his koban? Yes, sir. He was an easy mark. I slipped the coin in my pocket without any trouble at all.
A veritable phantom thief you are.
I was all set to leave the steak I was halfway through devouring when it happened. Yes, when the professor was shot. I knew that if the police conducted a search and found the coin in my pocket, I'd be finished. Ido too. So I hid the incriminating evidence as fast as I could, on the double. I slipped it under the steak, hoping I'd be able to rendezvous with it again at a later date.
Which steak, my dear man?
Everybody's just in dead silence. This is ridiculous. Perhaps you could carry on with this absurd prattling on your own time.
Well, Miss Brett. Oh, shut up! Of course, my dear lady, of course. How rude of us.
Your descendants are nowhere near as irritating as you're being right now, my dear man.
I'm quite sure there's no need to detain you any longer at all. May the esteemed gentlewoman please be excused, Your Excellency.
Indeed. The theft of the Yes, but guess what? You gave me the wrong goddamn steak. It would certainly appear to be...
Shut up.
It means that he gave me the wrong steak. Connect dots, please. Of course it is. Hiding a coin under a lump of meat. The sheer nonsense of such an idea astounds me. Nonsense, is it? Oomph. And as for picking up your steak and biting into it without using a knife or fork, is beyond nonsense. It's pure madness. Very well, now that all questions...
Shut up.
I see no further justification for detaining her. Miss Brett, you are... Can I say objection? Like, my dear man, you need to let me have a word. Thank you, Your Excellency. Good luck, everyone. And good day. Ryunosuke, what's the matter with you? This is no time for daydreaming. Oh, no, it's just... Something about Miss Brett's parting words there got me thinking. I can't quite work out what exactly, but something she said jarred with me. I feel like there was a contradiction in there somewhere. Something didn't quite add up. If that's the case, don't just stand there thinking. Make your voice heard. Sorry. You can think later, but if you don't call it out now, it'll be too late. The trial will be over. All right, hold it! Objection! Wait, Miss Brett. What is it now? I'm afraid, just one last time, there's something I'd like to ask you. I'd like you to explain the contradiction in your parting words from just a few moments ago. What are you talking about? What contradiction?
Objection!
Shut the hell up! What new student nonsense is this?
Well, what parting words are you talking about, Ryunosuke? Hiding a coin under a lump of meat. The sheer nonsense of such an idea astounds me. And as for picking up your steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork, it's beyond nonsense. It's pure madness. Yes, I'm right. What she said there explores an undeniable contradiction. I'm going to need to see evidence, counsel. If Miss Brett's words are truly contradictory, where is the evidence to prove it? In the steak that has giant chunks taken out of it with no knife or fork.
Take that!
I've given the wrong plate. The steak that Miss Brett had been eating before the professor was killed, yes, go on. More accurately, Your Excellency, the steak that was on the victim's table just before the professor was killed.
Now you're just splitting hairs.
Oh, you know that I got you, hun. Not true. Doesn't something about this steak strike you as very unnatural?
Unnatural? What on earth do you mean?
It's extremely obvious. I'm talking about the shape of the edge where it's been eaten. I see you've noticed it too, Miss Brett. Noticed what exactly, Counsel? Just a few moments ago, Miss Brett claimed no Englishman could have even contemplated picking up a steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork.
Of course she did. She's a refined English gentlewoman herself.
Then take a good look at this steak, in particular the edge where it's been eaten. As you can see, there are clearly defined barbaric teeth marks there. Oh! This isn't your plate. It looks like Miss Brett has realized something. So, if the witness, as she claims, wouldn't contemplate eating anything without using a knife and fork, there shouldn't be teeth marks in the steak at all.
Objection!
But what is your actual...
My actual point is that this is not the plate we're supposed to look at.
Perhaps the delightful Miss Brett was...
Shut up!
She's like, I will not have you dare go against my...
Oh, whatever you say, dear lady.
As I said, I really must be leaving now. Afternoon tea with the Minister of Justice cannot possibly wait any longer. You shut the hell up and you're not letting her leave.
This'll be over in a blink of an eye. Rest assured, I'm about to put this rookie in his place. Just shut up!
I've heard enough. You're irritating little spectacle samurai relic.
Of course. Dear lady!
What's the matter, Miss Brett? Have we ruffled your feathers? Clearly, the witness knows what this means. She's realized the catastrophic implications these teeth marks in the steak have for her. Ryunosuke, do you know where you're going with this? Not really, but hey, I have an idea. Yes, now at last it all comes together. The mysterious teeth marks in the steak that had allegedly been eaten with cutlery. The reason why the bloodstain I know I saw somehow seems to have disappeared. And most importantly, the evidence that proves once and for all who shot Dr. Wilson that day. I accept that these teeth marks in the steak are a little unnatural, as you put it, Counsel. But what exactly are you suggesting that tells us? Everything, Your Excellency.
Everything?
Yes, I believe that these barbaric teeth marks in the steak here amount to conclusive evidence in this case. Evidence that will prove beyond any doubt who shot Dr. Wilson.
Shut up!
Oh, I'm not shutting up, you dear little evil wench. Conclusive evidence. How many times have I heard that today? You wouldn't know the meaning of the phrase. Typical Japanese empty threats. How can you be so sure? Oh, it's quite simple. If you really had such conclusive evidence, you would have presented it to the court long ago. Actually, the evidence I'm talking about hasn't been brought before the court yet.
Has it been what?
But just because it hasn't been shown yet, doesn't mean that the evidence does not exist.
Objection!
This is absurd! The trial has run several hours already, and you say there's evidence yet to be brought forward? This can't be! I don't believe you have it! Have it!
Objection!
Well, obviously I don't have it, but somebody has it. I don't, but there's someone who does have it. Someone in this very courtroom. That's right, Brett! I'm going to destroy you! And if that person is willing to submit the piece of evidence I'm referring to, it will solve every remaining mystery about this case. Very well! I have a feeling this will be my last request of the defense in this trial. Who possesses the conclusive evidence that will reveal the truth about this whole affair?
Take that!
The answer is obvious. It's Inspector Hosonaga. What? I have it? Yes. The other... You think I'm... No, but I think you didn't realize what happened with these stakes. That's ridiculous. No. I'm not saying that. Everyone's attention has been focused on this stake with teeth marks. Yes? Now, earlier this afternoon, Sergeant Nosa told the court the following. I'd enjoy chomping my way through a good steak, as well as admitting to stealing Korikuta-san's coin. He told us that he slipped it under the steak. You watch it, cadet! I'm a superior officer! Sergeant Nosa, could you please confirm something for me? Was the steak that you put the coin under, in fact, your own steak? Tin-shun! Affirmative, of course! I might be a soldier of the Imperial Nippon Army, but still. I'm not brave enough to ask a foreign gentle lady if she'd mind me manhandling her meal to hide something in it. In other words, the steak that the detective submitted as evidence earlier was in fact Sergeant Nosa's meal.
Objection!
But that makes no sense! That plate was taken from the victim's table!
Objection!
Yet the gentlewoman doesn't take bites out of her steak, nor did she have any opportunity to steal the coin. Of course I didn't steal it. To even suggest such a thing would be an affront to the entire British Empire. Well then, how do you explain this paradox?
Exactly! Surely you're not going to suggest that the sergeant switched the two steaks over?
I mean, thanks for saying it out loud. That is what you're gonna suggest.
You did switch the plates!
I thought Brett switched them, but oh, this is so much better. Well, after it happened, when I saw the civilian had murdered right in front of my eyes like that, I panicked. As I said, I immediately lifted my steak and hid the coin under it. But then when the waiter announced he was an undercover policeman, I thought I'd had it. If he decided to investigate my slab of meat, that'd be it. I began my marching orders. So when the cadet here was arrested and taken off to the kitchen, I seized my chance. With my military precision and timing, I switched my steak with the one of the foreign lady's table. What? You can't have. I never saw you do such a thing. It was called Operation Lightning Bolt. There was no time for strategic planning. It was do or die, I tell you, so yes! I did what had to be done!
Unbelievable!
However, fear not, Prosecutor-san.
What now?
I swear on the brass buttons of my uniform, that is all I did, sir.
All you did? That's plenty, Sergeant.
Yes!
So, if Sergeant Nosa switched the plates over, it means he took Miss Brett's steak and the plate it was on back to his own table. Yes, that follows. Inspector Hosonaga, we need that plate of steak. Earlier in this trial, you told the court this. You said that you had not only taken Miss Brett's steak after the incident, but also the sergeant's. Wait, to preserve evidence, you had taken both. Ah! She's biting. She's so nervous. That's correct. She thought she'd gotten away with it, but I'm like, lady, you ain't getting away with shit. Then please present it to the court now. The plate that was actually on the victim's table at the precise moment he was shot.
Shut up!
Oh, you shut up! What can I possibly tell us now? I mean, I already told you I saw a bloodstain, so shut up!
Objection!
No, you're right. You're not wriggling your way out of it this time, lady. I beg your pardon? Surely you're not that forgetful. Surely you remember the reason why the steak pan promises to prove such a problem for you, no? You're the ones who decided it was a problem, not me. The reason the defense asked to see the plate was to confirm something the defendant remembers seeing. Thinks he remembers. I'm quite sure of what I saw, Miss Brett. On the side of the plate that was on the table directly behind Dr. Wilson, there was a clear splattering of blood from the gunshot wound to the victim's chest. I believe the defendant's memory serves him well. And now we have the evidence to prove it. The plate you were eating from, Miss Brett. Let us not prolong this any further. Inspector, you will show the evidence to the court. Present the beefsteak and plate that was originally on the victim's table at the time of the incident. Yes, sir. You can already see the blood stain. Yes, we got her! She's so going down. Here is the other steak in its plate. Please, feel free to examine it. Yeah, see, like, there's so much more of the steak left. And now there's blood. The blood stain. It's clearly visible, look!
Yes!
Now this makes everything clear. The blood you see on the side of the plate shows that the moment the victim was shot, he was facing the table with his back to me. In other words, it's impossible for Naruhodo-san to have shot the victim. And only you could have shot him, my dear lady. It can't be! In fact, there's only one person who could have possibly shot Dr. Wilson from the front. I'm sure everyone knows by now who that person is. Ugh! That's right, Miss Jezebel Brett. It's you! That's right, lose it, lady. Outdone by a Japanese. Me, by a Japanese schoolboy. No, no, no! There's a live swat at her head. I can't hold it that long. I couldn't hold it, I'm sorry. Oh my god. He's like, I've died and gone to heaven. And look at, there's now little chickies everywhere. Please excuse my little outburst. I briefly lost my composure. Most unbecoming behavior for an English gentlewoman. Forgive me. Well, Miss Brett, I think it's time you told the court what actually happened that day. The truth this time. Da 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 da. Gladly, Your Excellency. It was I who took the professor's life using Kurare. As you surmised, I chose that particular day for one important reason. The professor had a dental appointment for the extraction of one of his teeth in the morning. So you planned to kill the professor, knowing that no trace of poison would be found in his water. Because Kurare is unheard of here in Japan. Yes. Of course, I never intended to remain at the restaurant for as long as I did. I only needed to see the professor take one little tiny sip of his water, and it would all be over. I would place the steak I had ordered in front of him to make it appear as though he had been dining alone, and leave immediately. However, before any of that happened, there was an unexpected visitor at the professor's table. That would be me, I suppose. Yes, you. Who else? Such a trifling matter, but the fact that you decided to come over to greet the professor meant that I had lost my chance to slip away unnoticed. In due course, the professor took a sip of his water and was paralyzed. I made sure he was sitting in his chair such that he wouldn't fall. There was no going back at that point. So I concocted a plan in the spur of the moment. A plan to pin Dr. Wilson's murder on this innocent man. I happened to know that the professor was always carried a gun. I decided to use that fact to my advantage. I had the bottle of Kurare in my handbag. And my own pistol concealed under my skirt.
Under your skirt?
So I was right, there were two guns. Yes. And then I finished my coffee and got up to leave. That's when I noticed the professor's gun, which you had presumably placed on the floor. Place where you were sure I would notice it. And everything went according to plan. You've noticed the gun and as I intended. And then, just as you bent down to pick it up, that's when you shot the professor with your own gun. Even though at that point he was already dead. Naturally. The gunshot caused a commotion, at which point the waiter appeared. Obviously, I assumed Naruhodo-san was the culprit and apprehended him. I took him to the pantry that adjoins the kitchen and locked him inside. That's when I took the opportunity to turn the professor in his chair around. Because of course, you need to make it look like the defendant had shot Dr. Wilson from where he picked up the gun. So there you have it. That is the entirety of my misdemeanor. You murdered a man! That ain't a misdemeanor, hun! Everyone's just shock silent. Your Excellency? Yes! I wonder. Might I speak with you in private later? I shall call on you. Thank you. Good day then, everyone. I hope you can forgive me, Naruhodo-san.
Well, declare me not guilty, please.
It would seem this trial has finally run its course. I presume the prosecution is in agreement?
This can't be. Takisuchi Ouchi does not lose. Not like the likes of this rookie student.
You'd better start getting used to tough opposition.
Arr, Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
What, yes?
This is an insult to the Ouchie family name. We'll never be forgiven.
You've become conceited with age, Council. But the old have to stand aside and make way for the new. It's the way of the world. May you never forget that. My God, Kazuma! So sharp. 1,000 millennia may pass, and still the Ouchie clan will never measure up to the Naruhodo clan. That was beautiful. That was beautiful, my dear boy. I believe, go down in history as the start of a new chapter in our country's judicial system. Despite being summoned as the accused, you, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, presented an excellent case.
Thank you, Your Excellency.
The use of evidence and deduction to unravel the truth is modern mythology. After all, it has only been a few short decades since our country opened its doors to the Western world. But the Western ideas of science are rapidly gaining acceptance here. I feel sure that science will soon bring new methods of investigation and new procedures of justice. A new future of law awaits. But what it will look like, I cannot begin to imagine. It is for the young to pursue. Kazuma out, Asogi.
Yes?
After this trial, you are set to embark on a journey of discovery to the illustrious British Empire. Learn all you can. Absorb everything the wilder world that you are able to. And do not forget to fulfill the mission imposed upon you. The hell? I understand, Your Excellency.
What was that about? Why do you look so grave all of a sudden?
Ah, never mind. As for you, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Oh, yes! In you I sense, how can I put it, unusual potential. I very much look forward to seeing how you carry onwards.
Thank you, Your Excellency.
It is time to deliver the final verdict. I hereby find the defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, not guilty.
Whee! Look, oh my God, the sakura petals.
That's cute.
We won!
This court is now adjourned.
God, this trial is so long.
And this part didn't even feel like it was that long because it's a couple of points. But some of the... Ouchie-san definitely made me want to lose my mind. 22nd November, 2:48 p.m., Supreme Court of the Judiciary, Defendant's Antechamber 5. I can't believe it. I can't believe what's happened. I made it! I defended myself and made it through that horrendous trial. Ryunosuke, you finally pulled it off. Congratulations. Well, I couldn't have done it without you. Thank you, Kazuma. No, it was a pleasure to watch you at work. So, you owe me an extra large sukiyaki from the place on Yume University Street, don't forget. Good afternoon. All your hard work has certainly paid off. Oh, I thought it was her dad. I'm sorry. Congratulations to both of you for proving Naruhodo-san's innocence. Ah, our trusty judicial assistant. You worked hard for that result too, you know. Oh no, I didn't do anything.
Thank you so much!
If we hadn't had that research report of Miss Brett's, I don't know how things would have turned out. Your kind words should really be for my father. I was simply doing as he asked. It was his idea for me to go to the university and investigate. Your father? Ah, yes, of course. Forgive me for intruding on court proceedings, Your Excellency. Susato Mikotoba, Judicial Assistant to the Defense. Speaking of Mikotoba... Ah, there you are! I believe congratulations are in order! Naruhodo, you did an excellent job! Thank you, Professor? Oh no, it is I who should be thanking you! After all, your efforts exposed the true criminal that took the life of my good friend. Good friend? Oh yes, you mentioned that before. It was you who actually invited Dr. Wilson to Yume University, wasn't it? Yes, that's right. Professor Mikotoba studied overseas himself. He went to study forensic medicine in Great Britain. Presumably that's when you met Dr. Wilson. Exactly. In those days, we worked together in the same hospital. Oh, you worked together? I've never heard you mention that before. Well, it was a long time ago now. Besides, it's your turn, Asugi. Great Britain is a magnificent country. It leads the world. In science, medicine, engineering, culture, and of course, in law. Watch and learn, my boy. See what's happening in the world's largest melting pot. I will. I'll learn all that I can. I swear on this, the spirit of the Asugi clan. You're not talking about taking that sword to Great Britain, are you? Of course I am. A Japanese man's katana is his soul. This blade shows me where I need to go. And cuts down anything that's in my way. Yes, I've definitely seen how sharp it is already with my own eyes. That reminds me, what's happened to the woman? To Jezebel Brett, I mean. After all, she's guilty of murder. Yes, her. It's not easy to tell you this, but... What do you mean? Surely she's gonna face trial herself now. She's the true culprit, after all. She will be leaving Japan in the very near future. For Shanghai. What? Shanghai? Jezebel Brett will not appear in court again in this country, I'm certain of that. What? But why not? It's a matter of consular jurisdiction. Inspector Hosonaga. It was a hard-fought battle in the courtroom today. Very impressive to watch. I must But what's all this about consular jurisdiction? We cannot try this particular foreigner for her crimes here in Japan. What? We can't try her? But then who? Who's going to bring her to justice? A British consular court will hear her case, somewhere far away where our voices can't be heard. But why a consular court? Professor, I simply don't understand. I thought consular courts were a thing of the past now. We've signed a friendship treaty. Yes, in normal circumstances, you're right. Then, so long as this is not a serious incident of highly political nature to our respective governments, they can invoke a consular court just like that? Oh, can't they? Yes, she's a student, but it doesn't justify our government's making secret agreements about her fate, doesn't it? Does it? Something strange is going on. So Miss Brett can't be held accountable for her actions here in Japan. I'm afraid that for the young student, today's trial was nothing more than a game all along. There was never any danger of comeuppance for her. I don't believe it. The British government's Foreign Affairs Ministry has demanded that we hand over custody of Miss Brett. They're obviously taking this case of a foreign student committing murder very seriously. But it's all going to change from now on. We can make it change. This is a time of great turmoil. This new era heralded by the start of the 20th century. One day, I have no doubt, that woman will receive the judgment she deserves. Yes, change is coming, and we're the ones driving it. Well, I think that's enough seriousness for now. This evening calls for a celebratory drink. But Professor, you're right. This is no time for gloomy faces. We should be celebrating Ryunosuke's not guilty verdict. Let's start having some fun. In that case, might I suggest La Carnival? As the head waiter, I should be delighted to provide you with ample food and drink. You're Detective Hosanagi-san, aren't you? Let's not worry about the details for now. To La Carnival! Will you accompany us, Professor? Of course. La Carnival's food is second to none. I shall go and attend to the paperwork for Naruhodo-san's release. Oh yes, thank you. So, Jezebel Brett won't be tried here. I suppose that means I'll never know. I'll never find out why she killed Dr. Wilson. Kazuma? Yes, Ryunosuke? I just wanted to say thanks again, that's all. You really saved my skin today. I didn't do a thing! You were the lawyer in there, weren't you? That defense was all your own work. Excuse you, there were times where you were the best defense helper I've ever had. You're definitely the most freaking helpful. Your skills made the difference, though. One day, I bet you'll be the best lawyer in the world. I'm not so sure about that. Huh? To be honest, something kept occurring to me over and over again during that trial. I couldn't help thinking that maybe you're the one destined to become a great lawyer, not me. What? Come on, be serious. If I helped you today, it was only right at the very start of the trial. But you have natural talent for it. For being a defense lawyer, I mean. Oh no, not me. All the tens of verbal combat? I never want to go through that again. I'm going through it again, buddy. I did what you told me to do, that's all. Because I knew I could trust you. That's the point. Sorry? What do you mean, that's the point? Listen, Ryunosuke. Do you know what the most crucial weapon is that any lawyer needs in order to win? Knowledge of the law. No. It's the ability to believe. To believe? To believe what? The defense lawyer has to fight for his clients. He has to believe in them at all times. Like you believed in me when I said I didn't do it. I'm human just like you. I don't have some superhuman ability to know the truth. But you have to make a choice about what to believe in and stick to it when you're defending someone. Sometimes in the courtroom, you can really be backed into a corner. But being able to remain faithful to what you choose to believe in even then, well, that's not something anyone can do. It takes a special kind of person. Believing in your client. Just look at today's trial. I'm a student lawyer with precious little real experience, but you'd never stop believing in me. Well, you face seemingly hopeless situations time and again, but you never stopped looking for the truth. And in the end, you found it. Through your own efforts, and because you never stopped believing in me. Thanks, Kazuma. There's something I want to ask you, actually, Ryunosuke. Well, it's a favor, really. Something very important. Sounds serious. What is... Ah, you're still here, are you? Oh, Inspector Hosonaga. I've arranged some rickshaws for us. Let's go. Thank you. We'll be right there. Let's pick up this conversation again later. We should be celebrating right now. Your first court victory. And your study tour to Great Britain, don't forget. Ah, yes, that too. So my first trial came to an end. Oh, now it's lagging again. Kazuma, Professor Makotoba, Susato-san, who acted as my assistant, Inspector Hosonaga, who didn't really play much of a part, but still. It was because of the help and support of these people that I managed to get through that trial. But more importantly, Kazuma hadn't yet managed to ask his favor of me. Little did I realize just how much it would change my life. And there we have it, people. We have finished the first case in the Great Ace Attorney Adventures. The Adventure of the Great Departure. Of a Great Departure. Is it The Great Departure or A Great Departure? Anyway, thank you all so much for joining me. Thank you for watching these videos. I'm sorry that there are like small problems. I don't know what exactly is the problem that causes that stuttering. I thought it was the HDMI cable, which I changed, which obviously it worked for a little bit. But obviously we're still having the issues. I think it might actually be the capture card, which would be very sad. It's not that old of a capture card, and I don't like that that it might already be failing, because I don't particularly have the money to buy a new capture card right now. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me. I will catch you all on the flip side, and bye, everybody.